What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Zach and Pat Show. I'm Zach.
I'm Pat.
This is the show about manhood, fatherhood, entrepreneurship, and the mentality it takes to be successful at those things. And we'll probably sprinkle in some helpful real estate advice too, because that's what Pat and I do. You know, guys, life can be tough. We can go through some things and struggle at times, but this is the show to let you know that you're not alone. So if you're someone out there going through any of these things, this is the show for you. Shout out to our friends at NeuroGum for keeping us energized and focused. NeuroGum is a chewing gum as well as mints. Got caffeine, L-theanine, vitamins B and B6 and B12. Helps with memory and focus. I like to chew it whenever I'm driving around showing houses, making phone calls to my clients, before a workout. Anytime I just feel like I need a little bit of a mental boost, I will pop a piece of NeuroGum. Usually gets me to where I need to be mentally. So if you're ever feeling like you're just mentally dragging a little bit, just pop a piece and it'll get you to where you need to be. So get out there and try some NeuroGum.
Also, shout out to our guy Gabe over at Captain Beard Co. They make unbelievable products for beard care. So they got beard balms, butters, and oils, just made with natural ingredients. Anything for beard growth, beard health, anything like that. So if you're a guy with a beard and you're looking for some great products, check out Captain Beard Co. for those. They also have unbelievable smelling body wash. I love the mahogany teak wood. It smells really good. They've also just came out with shampoo and conditioner, and they make these amazing smelling candles. So guys, anything that smells good and it's made with all natural ingredients, you got to check it out. Use promo code Zach and Pat for 10% off your purchase. But yeah, give them check them out and give them a try.
Yeah. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, dude?
Oh, not
How
much.
you doing?
I'm doing great.
How you feeling after the fights?
Disappointed. It's been Sunday I was really down in the dumps, not gonna lie. I was like a little sad panda walking around here all day. Gina she was like, you just need to snap the fuck out of it, and and kind of made me realize that it's not everything. For those of you that don't know, I lost this past weekend. I had a match. It was supposed to be against Sean Woodson, who's a featherweight fighter in the UFC, like top 15 fighter, but he pulled out on Thursday. So, this kind of scrambled and got me a new opponent, 2 days before the match. I was going into the match with Sean with a pretty specific game plan. Kind of had to switch that up, at the day before essentially. So, and I knew a little bit about this other guy, but not a ton. He definitely does some, more unconventional moves that I wasn't really prepared for. But I was proud of, how the match was going. I think I was proud of some of the things I did. I attempted to take him down. I ended up having to fall underneath him into a guard, and I was able to sweep him and get up on top, pass his guard, passed him to side control, and then we landed kind of like right on the outside of the mat. So then they reset us, and then right as that's one of the problems with jiu-jitsu is the resets, man, because you lose so much momentum when things are going well, and then all of a sudden the match stops. All right, let's move to the center of the mat so you don't fall off the stage, and then he just within seconds of us starting again, he put me in a weird like arm lock from the bottom of side control, which is definitely not something most people ever do. Normally, that bottom of side control position is pretty much just 100% defense. I mean, there's a couple offensive moves you can do from there, but usually most people are just playing defense there, and he kind of seems like he kind of almost baited me into what he was wanting, which is kind of his move, which is where he gets into this like head and arm scarf hold position, and then like he does basically like an Americana with his legs, and he got me in it real quick, and I had to tap or verbally tap, and and most people that were watching really didn't see what happened because it happened so quick.
I was looking at the video. I got video of it, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. I mean, everybody got, and that was one of the reasons if you were at the thing, I made a pretty quick beeline. I mean, I talked to a couple of people when I came down, but I would like my parents and a couple of my buddies that came, but I was like, I just wanted to go upstairs because I didn't want to talk about it anymore. I was definitely down in the dumps just because I had such high hopes for that. But oh well, I'm sure I'll get another opportunity to compete on there and hopefully walk away with a win one of these times.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it was fun. It was a great event.
They did a good job putting that thing on.
Yeah, it's fun. Adam does a great job.
Yeah.
They're and then Nick also, he his opponent changed like 4 times. He ended up going against this really tough, like, 20-year-old blue belt who's been, kinda wreaking havoc. Honestly, the guy probably should be a purple belt by now, but, he had a really good match. I think he ended up getting put in a Kimura, like, with, like, 30 seconds left in the match, which is a bummer, but, and then our buddy Colin, that was awesome
That was
watching
yeah.
him win. That he submitted his
He
guy.
dominated that guy.
He did. He beat him up pretty good. It's awesome. And Colin's one of my main training partners and one of my good friends and former guest on the show. Awesome to see him win. And then there was a bunch of other good matches. Watching Sean Woods, the black
Oh
belt
yeah.
out of Colombia, and he's one of my coach's good friends, and he hit that flying triangle, which was sweet. What else? Oh, Nick Matea's match was pretty good.
It was that fucking guy just
Yeah, yeah,
scooting around on his ass. I mean, he stuck to his plan. It was boring, but
yeah, but
you
he
know,
he won.
yeah,
Nick just really couldn't get past his guard. I mean, I think he got around to like a north south position like once or twice, but he wasn't able to really secure anything. And the other guy got in on his legs a couple times, and that really what
it's all
kind of won the match for
yeah,
him. It's definitely not the most entertaining way to win, but it's a way to win.
yeah.
So it's very strategic. It was cool seeing my brother-in-law there. He came to watch me, and he's never really seen jujitsu live, and he's just like kind of a big sports guy, and you could just tell he was like really getting into the strategy behind it. And I gave him a ride home, and just talking to him about it was just interesting seeing someone's perspective of like who has no like no experience with it
Uh,
whatsoever, and just kind of like but like could totally tell like what was going on, and like totally following and asking me questions the whole time we're there. It was really cool. I had a blast. It was an awesome event. So
yeah, yeah.
looking forward to the next
Melissa
time.
and Dalton came,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
they that like opened their eyes to all of it. And they're like, "Oh my god, this is awesome!" And they had a blast. They
yeah.
loved it. So
It's so cool. Yeah, no, yeah. Sitting with Melissa and Dalton the whole time, they're cracking me up. They're funny, man. Oh, it was a good night. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm looking forward to the next one, and yeah, it was good. So, um, yeah,
Anyway, yeah. Well, man, you can't win them all. It happens,
yeah,
and that, like I said, that was. I had to go and ask him. I'm like, because where I was at, I felt like I was at a pretty good angle to see. And then I walked back into the box and was at. I'm like, did you guys see what happened? Like, what the fuck? And
yeah.
they're like, yeah, it was just a very very strange submission.
Yeah, it was really
And
weird. I mean, talking to my coach about it on Monday, I went in there and went to class and then hung out with my coach at Open Mat and talked a lot about it. And it definitely made me feel better. But he's like, man, nobody does that stuff, and it's like it's hard to prepare for something like that when nobody does that because it's really unconventional. So, but yeah, I think I'm actually gonna make a trip down to Festus this Sunday and get some rounds in with that guy just to just to just to see how
yeah,
just to train with him again and to, like make me. Yeah, I just want to train with him again.
yeah,
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was a great event. So I'm looking forward to the next one. And he usually does about 2 of those a year. So when he told me, he's like, man, anytime you want to compete, let me know. So
yeah.
I'm sure I'll hopefully get on another one.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are we talking about today, Pat?
We got a couple different things, huh? St. Louis just recently held the Stay at Dad or Home Dad Con or Stay at Home Dad event for guys that are stay at home dads across the country.
Yeah.
So chat about that. Talk about our journey with testosterone so far. We're each like a month in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then talk about Chris Williamson's
Newsletter.
that
Yeah.
he brought out.
Yeah. It's
So
good. Yeah. So this, I can pull up the article or the thing here. Do you have the article pulled up? I can find it.
yeah, I've got one of them. Stay at home dads flock to St. Louis for Home Dad Con. According to the Pew Research Center, almost 1 in 5 stay at home parents are dads in the U.S., and now some of those dads have gathered in St. Louis for Home Dad Con. The National At Home Dad Network is hosting their annual convention for dads at the Drury downtown. The network started as a trio of home dads from Washington, D.C. They created the first and only nonprofit organization for at-home dads in 2006. The organization began connecting at-home dads and providing local play groups for their kids. Yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, no hate to anybody out there that's a stay-at-home dad, man. But
no,
man, I just
it's
know that I don't think that that's something that you and I would. I know I couldn't.
I
I know I couldn't do it.
I couldn't.
I just don't think that I'm set out for that. I would just not feel. I don't want to say I wouldn't feel fulfilled. but I wouldn't feel like I enjoy being like the provider
Right.
and the I just I feel like it would take something away from me,
Yeah.
not being not I feel like I'd be leaving potential like I'm like leaving potential on the table
Right.
for like what I'm capable of.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's not for everybody, and kudos to those guys for being able to do that. I mean, there's different strategies and ways to live your life and be a dad and provide for your family. They're doing it by staying at home and taking care of the kids. Um, you know, my thinking is like, well, how long is that going to last? How long before those kids are grown and they don't really need you to stay at home and take care of them or things like that. Like, what are you going to do then? And for me, and again, for me, I have to be active. I mean, we like all the shit that I do. I mean, I have to stay active, and I just don't think I don't know how active or how like uh, in my mind if I was really providing for the family the way that I would should be providing for my family. I'm not saying that these guys aren't like that's great for them. It's incredible that they've got a whole thing around
Yeah,
it.
I had no idea that there was such a thing.
Me either. But for me personally, I wouldn't be able to. I mean, I love my kids and I love spending time with them and being at home with them and all of that stuff. But at the same time, like you know, my helping people buy homes and then like coaching kids in baseball and then doing all of my extracurricular activities and stuff like that's what makes me who I am, and I just don't know like that would be going against who I am to do that. So it's just not in it for me, but I know that there's people out there and guys out there and dads out there that do it, obviously. So I mean, it's good for them for being able to help to live that lifestyle and be able to feel accepted in a group of people. I know that it's probably in society it's not looked at in a way like, oh, men have to provide for their family, men have to work. I mean, it's not necessarily true. I mean, like I said, and they could be. I mean,
Yeah, it's not necessarily true, but it also like I don't know, it just seems like that's the standard father role is to be the provider and it's just kind of it's the way things have kind of always
right,
been, I mean men were the hunter gatherers when or the hunters went off to kill the animal and
right,
bring that home and provide, and then the women, stayed home with their children, and obviously there's things have changed now. It's not necessarily that way, but and I start wondering like, okay, what are I curious what are what's life like at home with those
right,
guys what's their relationship life like with their wives, and I don't know, I'm sure some of them are great, but I bet some of them like do they feel emasculated? Do
right,
they like I don't know, because I know I certainly would,
right,
and maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe that's just an insecurity that I have in myself. But I would feel very like I feel like I wouldn't feel like I'm doing enough,
right.
or I'd be kind of emasculated. I guess I don't know if there's a
Well, you
better
said
word
it
for it
right.
than
Like
that.
living up to your potential. Like I feel like we all have a potential to do, for things that we do, and your potential is working and providing for your family that way. That's how I am. I mean, especially I definitely couldn't do it now.
No.
Being a single dad,
Yeah.
there's no fucking way.
Right. What are you just gonna
Yeah,
stay at
yeah.
home?
Unless I pay my bills,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm moving in, Melissa,
Yeah.
Melissa
I'm
and
gonna live in your
Dalton. Yeah,
basement. Yeah.
yeah,
Got my ex-husband
yeah,
living in the
yeah.
basement.
Yeah, he's a stay-at-home ex husband
Yeah.
dad. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, but that's the thing is like with how things change so frequently, and like my concern would just be like, okay, if obviously, am I like, what happens if we get divorced? I'm gonna be fucked as a stay-at-home dad. Like, how am I gonna provide? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially, I know like here in St. Louis and St. Louis County going through the divorce, like the courts are always going to favor the woman.
Now I
And
wonder if that's the opposite. If women, well, the woman's the breadwinner, like how does that go? Like like if one of these stay-at-home dads, say the wife's bringing in all the money, and dad, like I'm curious how the court would see that.
right.
I have no idea, but like, yeah,
Well, that too. But then you got to think like hear all these things like what women find attractive, and you
yeah, that's
know,
another thing. Yeah,
is like I just I mean, oh, you go out and like, oh, I'm a stay at home dad. Like, okay, well, why aren't you working? Like why aren't you? You know. So I mean, I just don't see how you know like what society tells us and what, you know, really just having dated what women find attractive, I don't,
Yeah, I've been out of that for a while, so
yeah.
fill me in.
Dating sucks. But no, it's, yeah, I mean, going through that, you always find out like one of the things that I've always like has been told is like my work ethic and how hard I work and my dedication to my job and stuff like that, like and being able to like that security and support to bring for my family, like that's something that people have always told me has been attractive. Like women have always told me like that's attractive. And
Yeah,
you
what women? I don't think there's any women out there that wouldn't think that that's attractive. Like the man being a driven, like hyper, like striving for success. Like I feel like
right.
that's what all I I would imagine most women find attractive.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
would think.
I mean,
But but these, I guess, maybe not. And as a guy, like for myself, like when I'm looking for a partner, I don't want a stay-at-home mom. I want somebody that can work or that wants to work and wants to do those things, that has that passion. I mean, that drive. It's just one of those things. Like I just, for me personally, for me to be attractive to a woman, they got to be working and successful and passionate about what they're doing. And I wouldn't want. I don't want to stay at home mom. You
yeah, I
know.
mean it's yeah, I mean you want something you want somebody that has like passion and has drive for and wants to constantly like be improving whatever they're doing. I mean like Gina, like wanting to, oh, she's always looking for ways to, be a better teacher and stuff like that. Like, I mean, she's always like looking up things and reading articles and trying to figure out what are better ways. There's this new study that has come out. She's a special ed teacher, so that stuff changes all the time.
Yeah.
So
Well, no, I'm also well, that's the thing too, is like I don't want to have to depend on anybody.
yeah, it's another thing. Yeah,
And I feel like if I would be a stay-at-home dad, I'm depending on my wife to make money. I don't like no, I mean, I grew up, I was raised to be an independent person and provide and work for myself, like work hard for myself. Um, and I it just wasn't, one, how I was raised, and two, I just wouldn't want to have to depend on anyone else for me to be able to live a life or live my life.
yeah.
So
Asking your wife for an allowance.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
Like, hey, can I go buy this? No, fuck that. I want to buy it. I'm going to buy it.
yeah, exactly. Like
And it just, I don't know.
I'd have a hard time with
I would too. But hey, I mean,
We might get some hate for this, but
right.
it is what it is.
I mean, that's
We're just being honest.
that's who we are. And
Yeah.
kudos to those guys for, that's who they are. That's what they want, and I can't hate on them for that. Like maybe that's what their passion was. That's what their passion's always been. And if that's the case, good for you guys. That's just not who I am. It's not where I would want to be. That's not what I would want to do. My life. I just, like I said, I love my kids and I love spending time with my kids, but I also love like teaching my kids like work ethic and showing them all these things while still, as a single dad, maintaining that,
Mhm.
like maintaining a house, you know, yeah, putting your dishes away, doing your laundry, folding laundry, putting clothes away, cleaning the house. Like I still have to do that shit. Like
Right.
now I do it and work. It's I mean, and it's a lot. It is. And kudos, like any single parent out there, like hats off to you. Like, you know, having to do everything, that's not easy. Like and this is, and this was something that I took for granted, and Melissa did a great job of it, and I would help out when I could with the stuff, but she's very type A, which we'll get into here
Yeah.
in a little bit, but like, yeah, she had her specific ways of doing things, and didn't necessarily like the way that I did things. So I would do something. She's like, just get out of here. I'll do it myself. So
Gina's the same way.
it just got to the point where I'm like, well, why would I waste my time doing it if you're just going to redo it? And
She doesn't like the way I fold the clothes.
oh
so.
yeah, folding clothes. So I was like, just show me how you like it. And I feel like I'm smart enough to pick up and learn how to do these things. And that's what's funny is like, I mean, she showed me how she liked the clothes folded. And I still fold my clothes that way. Like I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. Like the way the towels need to be folded. I'm like, damn, okay. No, it's just not fold over, fold and lay it flat. And like, it actually looks good in the closet. Like, folding sheets and washing dishes. Who knew that there was a proper way to run the vacuum? You got to go with the grain, not against the
Yeah.
grain. Like there's all sorts of like shit that I didn't know. I'm like,
Yeah, no
well,
one ever taught me that.
yeah, no one taught me that. And thanks for teaching me that. I still do that shit to this day. So shout out. Hey, thanks, Melissa.
Yeah. Thanks, Gina.
Sorry I didn't do it when we were married, but hey, I'm doing a hell of a job of it now.
Yeah, I figured it out now.
Got it done. But no, yeah, I mean, no hate on those guys. It is what it is. Like that's their life. That's what they want, and I like I said, I can't hate on anybody or say anything negative about them. I just me personally is not how I would do it. So
Either. All right, our next, the other thing I think we wanted to just kind of bring up, we've been, Pat and I think we've talked about it briefly on other episodes, but we haven't really like gone into depth on it. But we both got on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, pretty much the same time. It kind of all sparked from having Rocky on, with New Age Health and Wellness, and kind of really got us looking into, our test results. We got our blood drawn, and they run tests on it and see where you're. What I loved about it there is they really went over your entire panel, like the whole blood panel. Because I looked into getting TRT a couple years ago, and I got I still had low testosterone. This was probably 3 years ago that I looked into it, and it was low. And but that other place I went, man, I just felt like I was so rushed through everything, and then they just kind of like, all right, well, you want the shot? Cool. And I was like, I guess, yeah, all right. And if that's what you guys think I need, I guess. I was just kind of taking their word for it. And whereas at New Age, it felt way more like they went way more into depth on what every line on that freaking blood panel said.
Oh yeah.
And
and what it meant.
Yes, like what each thing meant. And thankfully that my stuff looked pretty good. Other than my testosterone, like all my other vitamins, all the other. It doesn't seem like there was really no other recommendations that they had for me. So other than testosterone, if it was something I felt.
Found out I'm pre-diabetic.
You are?
Yeah, which is, I'm not surprised. My mom is pre-diabetic.
What exactly does that mean? I know what diabetes is, but like, what is pre-diabetic?
Basically, like if we were to continue on the track that we were on and didn't make changes, then we would become a diabetic.
Okay.
At least that's my understanding of it. So, you're in that stage where you can make changes and get out of it. It's your insulin levels are at a level where you could go either way. Like it could go get worse and you could be diabetic, or you can improve it and be fine. And my mom did it, and it's something that's popped up on the last few tests, but it seems like it's been getting better than what it was. So it's just something I got to be a little more cognizant of. Watching what I'm consuming, which is something that I've been doing anyway. So, like I said, I was happy because, I started this journey towards the end of last year, just having talked to people about that were on it, and then them telling me like the symptoms that they had prior to them starting and how it fixed. I'm like, man, I'm feeling all of those things, like, lack of energy, and this is, and then I started thinking back, like, this is shit that's been going on for a long time. And so, lack of energy, brain fog, depression. I'll be honest. There's been bouts over the last handful of years where I've experienced depression, and
going through a big divorce and everything's gonna
things like that. Like, and so, obviously stuff like that's depressing shit. But this is supposed to help improve that. It is supposed to help improve the way your body's chemicals and everything align and stuff like that. And that's what I'm looking forward to. Obviously, sex drive and all of that is supposed to increase with all this. So yeah, there's a lot of things that come along with it that I'm really excited about. But the most important for me is and body fat. So like I've always carried more body fat than normal. And I remember going back to pro ball when I first started getting my body fat checked, and they put me on these things, and I would be working out hard and I'd be losing weight, but like my body fat never really got below a certain point. And then they're like, oh, you got a thyroid problem. But then they would test my thyroid, and my thyroid was perfect. Same thing like recently. Thyroid was fine. And it was, just, I mean, but in pro ball, they're not going to test for testosterone. You
Right.
can't,
You
can't,
can't get
can't
on
be,
it. Can't
no,
get on it, right?
no,
No.
that'd be illegal. That'd
Right.
be a banned substance. And obviously, they're not going to want that happening. So they just never even looked at it.
Yeah, it's just crazy that this is. I mean, I pulled up this article here that I kind of wanted to just go through while we are on the topic, just because it's so interesting that why. I mean, because this is obviously becoming a pretty common thing. I mean, how many guys do we know that are on it?
A
I mean, I can
lot.
think of like 20 off the top of my
Yeah.
head. And I pulled up this article here from Rutgers Health. A new study has found a sustainable drop in men's testosterone levels since the 80s, but reasons for the decline remain unclear. This trend also does not appear to be related to age. Average
Oh.
levels of male testosterone have dropped 1% per year since the 1980s. This means, for example, a 65-year-old man in 2002 would have testosterone levels 15% lower than those of a 65-year-old in 1987. This means a greater proportion of men in 2002 would have had had below normal testosterone levels than in 1987.
I would bet that those numbers are even
Even
higher now.
Yeah.
You know, and you've shared it. I've seen it shared, the Joe Rogan episode with the Means,
Yeah.
brother and sister, and what they talked about, and then having Rocky on here talking about all the plastics.
Dude,
That
it's got to be fucking us up.
has
sure.
to be.
There's no way. Like,
And
and
the
I'm
increase in
so aware of it now.
vaccines and everything that we have to take as little kids, like,
And all the shit in our food. I mean, not even just the plastics, it's all the chemicals, all the
Yeah.
dyes, all the bullshit. Like, I mean, ever since I've listened to that episode twice, and I'm I mean, I like Gina. It was annoying her the other day. We were walking around Target, and I just kept like every time before we put anything in the cart, I was like looking at the ingredients. It's like, oh no, like maybe not this one. And and obviously it's impossible to avoid everything, but like there's two things sitting next to each other, and they're both whatever they are, and I look at this one, and it's got pretty much just looking at the ingredients, and like, well, this one's got a paragraph about this long, and this one's got a paragraph about this long, so I'm gonna go with the one with the shorter paragraph.
right.
Like that's a really simple, dumbed down way to do it, but I mean that's when I flip over the nutrition label and I see all these things that I can't even pronounce, like, well, maybe that shouldn't be going in my body.
Right.
And I mean, I think it's a combination of things, because like this thing said, they can't pinpoint a reason why men's testosterone levels are dropping, but I mean they clearly are, and it's a big issue. And I also had this thing pulled up here just for some of the some effects of testosterones, and also I wanted to pull up some of the risks too, because I mean, there are risks associated with it for sure. So infertility, and that was one of the reasons why I didn't get on it several years ago, because me and Gina were still trying to get pregnant at the time, and and I honestly I tend to I'm way better about it now, but I used to really just I used to be bad about talking to Gina about making some large decisions. Like, I'd be lying to you if I told her I've agreed to buy pieces of real estate without consulting her. She she always tells a story. Well, she's telling her friends work. Well, Zach just bought a fucking house, So yeah, that's why
teachers cuss.
Yeah. Oh, they cuss. They cuss. But yeah, that's why I didn't get on it several years ago. And I mean, we haven't exactly decided if we're done having kids or not, but I'm taking all the other supplements along with it to hopefully keep my sperm levels high. But some of the effects here of testosterone: muscle strength and muscle mass, facial and body hair, sex drive, sperm production, bone density, fat distribution, red blood cell production, exercise tolerance, and mood. Men with low testosterone may experience loss of sex drive, erection problems, sleep problems, difficulty with exercise, weakened bones, depressed mood, less energy or motivation. But some of the side effects of this therapy some of the symptoms are an enlarged prostate, such as trouble urinating, blisters, itching, or redness of the skin if using the patch or the gel, which when I are not doing that.
Give me that needle.
Yeah, baby. Stick it right in there.
Yep.
shooting myself in the ass twice a week.
Yes, sir.
Reduced or absent sperm production, sleep apnea, acne. Yeah, and those are the side effects.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so far so good. I mean, we're both about a month in, and I mean, I feel like I've noticed a little bit of like cognitive performance has been enhanced for
Yep.
sure. I haven't really noticed. There's been instances when I was getting ready for this match where I was like feeling like I don't know if I was just having a really good day or what, but I was feeling really good in the gym, really pumped up, really like just having good days. And I don't know if that was the testosterone or me just having a good day training. It's hard for me to know because I haven't been lifting for like, I haven't been paying it. Like whenever I go lift weights, I have not been like really paying attention to like numbers, like as far as like, I can, you know, squat this much more or whatever. Like I haven't really been paying attention to that, but I'm getting back into CrossFit. I'm going there this afternoon, which I'm excited about. But what else is different? I've been sleeping well, but I mean, I never have problems sleeping. Um, I mean, I feel like I've been in a better mood, but and so that might be part of it too. I don't know if things are just
Right.
going well right now. Or it's hard to like exactly pinpoint it because it's hard to
Yeah.
there's not exactly like a good control, you know.
Right.
Um, so what have
Y-
you noticed so far?
Yeah. I mean, definitely I haven't noticed I have brain fog. Like usually around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm crashing. Haven't really felt that. Like you said, focus and the brain fog is gone. For the most part. Energy levels. You know, that those are getting better. Obviously, it's only been a month, and they say it could take up to 3 before
Mhm.
you really feel it.
Yeah,
And I just remember. I mean, I was really low. So like
yeah,
that.
you were a
That
little lower than me.
yeah, that first. Oh yeah, I was very very low. But that first shot was like I felt like I drank 10 cups of coffee without the jitters. It was great. Like I was
Yeah,
like,
you had me like worried
oh,
because I was like, man, I didn't feel
I was like,
that.
oh
Like,
fuck yeah, let's do this.
I asked Rocky, I was like, is that normal? He's like, it's not normal, but it's not uncommon. It's not. It happens to some people. He goes, maybe like 10% of people feel that
Yeah.
like after that first shot, and I don't think I felt that, but yeah, I was asking him because I think I was texting him that
Mhm.
day, and
Yeah, I text him. I'm like, dude, this is fucking awesome.
yeah.
But, I mean, it's tapered down since then, just because it's
Just kind
been,
of a normal
yeah,
thing
it's
now.
normal now. But no, I mean, like I said, I feel great. Energy levels are good. Again, I don't strength wise, muscle building. I don't know because it's only been a month. Like, I'm not really going to see that yet. But I mean, I know that, like, so for example, we're doing deadlifts right now, and part of the strength training that we're doing through the gym is deadlifting, and I hadn't really deadlifted in a long time. It was actually like the first time I deadlifted in probably over a year was like 4 weeks ago at the gym, and then it was like their 1 rep max, and it was like
Hell
right,
of a day to come in there for.
right. But I did the 405 and was happy about it. I was like, fuck, man, it's good to get back on
A
that.
lot of
So
weight, man.
yeah, and now we're tailing it back. So like last week we did 6 sets of 6, and I did that at 295. And then yesterday we did 5 by 5s, and I did that at 305. And I was like, fuck yeah, this is great. Like and you know, I don't obviously I don't know if that's the testosterone or not,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I wasn't dead. I mean, I was fucking dead last week because it had been a few weeks since I did the 1 rep maxes. But yeah, I was doing 6 reps of 6. That sucked. And then yesterday, like I feel fine today. Like I feel like I was pushing it pretty hard. So, maybe the recovery and all that is helping there. So yeah, I mean, energy wise, I think this is the biggest one. Focus wise, brain clear. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like mood wise, I've been in a pretty solid good mood for a while now. But who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sleeping, that's another thing. I've always been like a night owl. I'll be up to like 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, and then turn around, wake up at 6 and be fine. But now I'm crashing, like I'm falling asleep at like 11,
Yeah.
which is nice. Getting
Yeah.
extra sleep in. So
Yeah. Sex drive's definitely increased for me, for sure.
yeah.
That's one thing I think I was having a little bit of issue. But definitely was having issues with for sure. So I mean, I think that's one thing feeling things are good. But yeah, so it's been good. So yeah, we'll keep you guys informed on kind of how things are going for us. So that's been
Yeah.
digging it. So far so good with
There you go.
the old juicy juice.
Yeah. I'm excited to go pick up my next month's worth
We just
tomorrow.
picked ours
Get
up.
mine tomorrow
Mine
morning.
up. Yeah.
So, all right.
All right, let's get into this. This Chris Williamson 3-Minute Mondays. So he puts out a little newsletter every week that I always read, and I think it's this one, some good stuff on here usually. So this first little part was talking about the differences between type A people and type B people, and for those of you who don't know what those are, here I just pulled up another little article just to kind of just describe it. Whereas the type A person are usually a little bit more competitive, highly organized, ambitious, impatient, highly aware of time management, or aggressive are labeled as type A, while type B are labeled more relaxed, receptive, less neurotic, and frantic personalities. So, it's weird because I don't know where I put myself because I feel like there's some things I am very like type A about, and there's other things I'm very type B about. But Chris kind of gets into this. Insecure overachievers need to learn how to chill out and relax, but lazy people, and basically what he's saying, like he thinks that type A people have a type B problem, and type B problem people have a type A problem. Meaning that insecure overachievers need to learn how to chill out and relax, and lazy people need to learn how to work harder and be disciplined. Um, you know, so I mean, here's the thing: you may have already realized that type A people with a type B problem get very little sympathy because a miserable but outwardly successful person always appears to be in a much more preferential position than being content, being lazy, but on the verge of bankruptcy one. Uh, Problems of opportunity will always get less sympathy than ones of scarcity. One feels like a choice, the other one feels like a limitation. One is uh, I don't know that word. One is Borgias luxury, and the other one is systematic imposition. I need someone to teach me how to be disciplined and work harder. Feels less noble, upward aiming, and charitable. I need someone to teach me how to switch off and relax. Feels dopamigenic, addicted, and transactional. Every underdog movie has a training montage of someone sorting out their life by working harder. None included a guy learning how to log out of Slack at 6 p.m. and finally enjoy a beach holiday. So, yeah, I mean, I personally I feel like I'm very, I feel like I feel like my natural inclination is to be a type B person, but like I force myself to do type A activities.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how I see it. Like, or at least I'm very type A about things that I'm really passionate about, like real estate, like jujitsu, like working out. Like, I would say that those are things that I'm very like driven toward and very organized about. But then when you get into other aspects of my life, I definitely am. I'm a pretty laid back guy.
Yeah,
So
I would agree. Yeah, no, when I'm passionate about something and I want pushing myself for something, like I'm very focused on that thing, and I don't think I'm like, and like you said, like you never feel like it's enough, and so yeah, so I'm constantly pushing because I don't think I'm good enough. Um, and yeah, that can be a downfall. I can understand how that might be a downfall for some, but I mean, if you're always striving to be best and you're never feeling satisfied, it's always going to keep you hungry for wanting more. So I don't know. I that's how I've always lived my life when it comes to the things that I'm passionate about. And then obviously things that I'm not passionate about, I'm not interested in. So I'm just going to be kind of like, you know what? Just kind of laid back and relaxed with it. So, but no, I think there needs to be a good balance. You need to have a
yeah,
good
I think you need
balance
to
of both.
you need to have a little bit of both. I think, and being too type A would be, I mean, because I've definitely felt that where the part where you're like, where he says, you need to log out of whatever and go
Yeah.
enjoy the vacation. Like I've felt that. Ask any one of my family members in the last several years. It's always seems like my vacations are turned into me fucking being on the phone
Just
or,
working from a better
working
place.
from a, working from a better place. Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, I wish I didn't have to, but in our industry, it's like, things are so time sensitive that you have to respond to things right away. Otherwise, deals can be lost and things can fall apart pretty quickly.
Right.
And
And no
then,
matter how many people you have on your team, there's always you're still gonna have to you're s- like I'm still the point of contact. People are still gonna reach out to me. Can my assistants handle a lot of stuff? Absolutely. But there's still gonna be things that pop up that I need to do. Plus when you refer people to them, you're referring them to
to
me,
you, yeah.
not my team. You want them talking to me and getting my expertise, not talking to my assistants, even though they're just as qualified. They're just that's what my role is. That's why I'm here. So
That's where I'm running into that right now. Where I'm in my real estate coach. He's been talking to me about, maybe you should busy enough and you've got a lot of things going. Maybe you should hire an assistant or hire someone to come and take some stuff off your plate, like a buyer's agent or something. But here's the thing: is I feel like a lot of my value add or my where I why I have so much referral business is because I create
because of you.
yeah, because I create such great relationships with people, like, through the buying process.
Right.
When we're going out and looking at 10, 15 homes, like, and I'm hanging out with you for 3 hours on a Saturday afternoon, and we're cracking jokes and we're hanging out, and we become friends through this transaction. I feel like that's where and if I wasn't a part of that and I was removed from that, I feel like that would really hurt my business. And that's like the part that I'm really struggling with right now. Even though now I am this year I've been way more listing heavy as far than buyer heavy, but I still
Yeah,
like
what the
working.
fuck?
I know, bro. Sorry, I know. I've been
Just kidding.
I send you all the ones I get. Uh, but it's been a struggle. We talk about it almost every week for like the last 3 weeks about it, and I just still really haven't made any moves toward it because it's like, first of all, it's like, who do I don't even know how to go about hiring someone like that, and then just the training aspect of it too is something that just kind of stresses me out because I'm so like, oh fuck it, I'll just do it myself kind of
Right.
guy, and I need to just because I know if I put the time in.
Well, like I said, it goes back to what Angela was talking about. Like it's hard. It is. He said that's been the hardest thing that he's had to deal with is the hiring process. He's like, yeah, I've got the systems in place, but hiring the right person and then training them, that is so much work.
Yeah, and basically training them to replace you, like
Yeah.
the hard person to replace in my business.
Yeah.
you know I because no one's going to care about my people as much as I do.
Right.
And
I mean, that's for me, like, that's my thing is like with refinances. So for me, like, hey, I was the upfront main character. Like, they're all reaching out to me, but like behind the scenes stuff, like running numbers, working up numbers, like Mitch can handle that. And
yeah,
so that's what I do. Any refinance I get, and now working on training Erica to where she can take over some of that. Like, I mean, it helps free up the things that I want to be able to do. I don't want to do refinances. I don't have a problem with them. I can do them, but my time's spent is better spent doing other things. And especially now, and you're going to see this as rates continue to drop. You know, loan officers are going to neglect their referral partners. They're going to focus on that low hanging fruit that they can just pluck from past clients because they've already got those relationships built with those past clients. So they're going to go after those and kind of neglect their agents. And I'm going to tell loan officers, don't do that.
yeah,
Don't neglect your agents because I'm going to come in. I'm going to next thing you
I'm
know,
gonna take
I'm
'em.
going to take them. I'm going to meet up with them and develop a relationship and I'm going to take it.
Yeah,
But that's the thing is like people forget about that and they focus on that low hanging fruit, but develop a team that allows you to still catch that low hanging fruit while you can still grow your business. So, but no, I mean, I'm super lucky with the assistants that I have and the team that we have. And, you know, it's taken a long time to get them.
yeah.
But yeah, for you, I don't envy that part of that process for you.
And I'm not all alone. I do have people that help me. I've got Shelly, my transaction coordinator, who's been with me since day one, pretty much. And I don't know what I'd do without her because she saves my ass regularly and like helps me out with so much stuff.
Right.
I couldn't do the volume of business I do without her. That's for sure. No way. And I'd advise anybody that's in a any real estate salesperson, if find yourself a good TC, good transaction coordinator, because man, I've had that since day one, and I think that has it's taken so much off my plate for to do the items that don't really make me the money.
Right.
Me making them. What makes me money is having conversations with people, talking with people interested in buying and selling, and creating those relationships. That's really how I make my money. I mean, doing, she handles a lot of the back end stuff, a lot of the paperwork, a lot of the, making sure that all the deadlines are met, making sure, usually always on the back end. Whereas like once we're under contract, that's when she hops in. But, so that's a piece of advice I'd give to any real estate agent out there, whether you're new or maybe you've been in the business for a while and you're just trying to save that money. But it just gives you time to focus on other things, and just it relieves so much stress from my life, because I know I'd be so much more stressed out if I didn't have her to be able to, because I call her, like I literally texted her before this, like, hey, I'm walking into a meeting. Can you send them an amendment to change this close date or whatever it was? And she always does that kind of stuff for me. So it's super helpful.
It's nice to have, but yeah, I mean, if you can find somebody that you trust and that you know is going to work hard and put that work in, and even if it's just like, you know what, I'll show the first 5 homes, and then after that, hey, here's
Yeah,
my showing specialist. He's
that's an
gonna
idea.
he's gonna step in and show you a few more homes. Um,
Yeah, because I mean, I have a couple agents that I'll use to, like, if it's times that I can't, I just have them fill in, but it's not really. I just don't know how I do it. Like, do I? Because all those people, I pay that agent per showing. I pay them for their time for going out to show the property. Like, I don't know what it would look like having. Do I have a hourly position where they're working X amount of hours per week? But like, what if there's some weeks where I don't have as much going on, and then they're not. Like then they're just kind of sitting around doing nothing, or how does that? That's just kind of something I need to figure out. But
Structure in a way like, hey, Gil, like, hey, you show them a house and they decide they want to write on it, then
yeah,
there you go.
yeah, I guess that's a way to.
And you split the commissions in some sort of way. Like, hey, this is my lead. I'm giving it to you. I'm going to give you 25% of the commission.
Yeah, yeah,
If you find them or show them the house that they want to ride on, I'll do I'll get everything written up and all that stuff. But I'll give you 25% because we're out running them around.
so I do something like that.
Something similar.
Yeah,
I I don't know how that all works on that end, but could be.
yeah, we could do that. I mean, I just want to talk to a couple. I really need to just like sit down with some other agents that have like teams and
Yeah.
just kind of pick their brain, kind of figure out. I just want to kind of see how everybody does it and see which ones I like the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's about all we got for today, man.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
I mean, I'm just chilling.
Just chilling.
Just chilling.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning into the episode today. If you haven't, hit that like button down below. Click that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and we will see you next time.